Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new Big Brother 22 All-Stars discussion. And for the first time in a while, like as sad as I am about the eviction, I am actually excited about something when it comes to this season. It's all thanks to the neighbor. I really want to take credit for this, but in reality, I feel like there were like 3 million other people who were all screaming this at their TVs.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of people that predicted that this was going to be the neighbor.
So we'll talk about the neighbor twist a little bit later on, but we're going to discuss here as well the eviction, the editing from CBS, some very interesting shade with some camera angles that was also going on here. Before we do anything else though, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss HOH and support us further. Check those links to the store and also our Patreon.
So let's start with Davon's speech, because that for me was really the meat of this episode. It was powerful, it was vulnerable, she looked beautiful, and she ate Nicole's lunch. It was everything that I could expect. And if I was Nicole, I would have given her my vote too. It's just... that was one of the most powerful speeches that I've seen. I mean, I was sitting at home being like, oh, you have my vote, Davon.
I don't know how you can't give Davon a vote after that. I think she was so just well-spoken and well thought out. And, clearly she had been probably even planning this from before she was even on the season. And I think she said a lot of just powerful, meaningful stuff in here. And I think she knows that no matter how she did this season, just hearing these words on live television, it's going to inspire people out there. And if you can't win the 500K, you have to win something else. And I think Davon won the night she won the speech. It was a million times better than hearing someone be like, I'm gonna stumble through this and thank this person and that person who nobody at home knows who they are.
Happy birthday. No, she used her time well in that speech. And I like that she called out specifically that the people who weren't honest with her, they may not be getting her vote.
It brings me back to something that we said a few days ago when Davon first had this conversation with Nicole, and she was pretty much straight out in that conversation. I need to know the truth. Mm-hmm. She discussed a lot of personal reasons why, but it did feel like that was the confrontation, make it or break it moment where if Nicole was going to have a jury vote from Davon, she had to come clean with her. And I understand it wouldn't have necessarily been a good game move for Nicole to say it, because that information Davon could have been spread around the house and everything else. But, it's something that extends beyond the game. And Nicole and Davon have a relationship that also extends beyond the game. So it's hard to sort of just say, take the entire friendship we have and throw it out the window in the midst of a game. These people are not robots.
But at the same time, now we're in a situation where if Nicole is sitting at the final two, she has lost that vote. It feels like it's gone. So did Nicole make the right move? I just don't think so. I think that moment that Davon came to her and was like, I'm ready to accept whatever truth you're going to tell me, and I will take it in, and we will move forward from there, and we will figure it out. We have had a long relationship, so let's just lay it out. That was Nicole's moment. And then when she turned back to the camera, it was kind of like, I have to tell her. That was the moment, because Davon was open to hearing it at that point, and it could have been salvaged.
What Nicole should have done, first and foremost, obviously, she should have saved Ian and should have found a way to get those numbers and have that happen, because that would have been better for her game long term, even if it was a risk in the moment. The other thing she should have done, never done this move in the first place, and find some other sort of way or justification or anything else, because the moment that you start to lie in this capacity where you know that you're going to be causing a lot of division between David and Davon, you are putting yourself in a position where you can't walk that back. It was a bad idea from the start, and she should have recognized that.
Yeah.
The other part of this, though, with Nicole, and I got a lot of ranting to do about Nicole, so everybody just strap in. Nicole fans, I know you're going to be really mad at me.
Put on your hard hats.
Okay, this is the thing, and all my thoughts are about Nicole in the game, and these are my frustrations with her in the game. I think her voting to save Davon, it felt purely like, see, I want to keep you in the house. Like, it felt very phony to me, and I know Davon was better for Nicole's game in a lot of ways, but
Yep.
Nicole, she knew where the votes were at that point. I don't buy for a second that she didn't. And I just think her goodbye message was not good because Davon is a confident, smart person. She does not want to hear you crying and talking about your friendship. Be in there, own your move, own your game, apologize, but be confident in what you're saying and be confident in what you're articulating. Davon does not want to feel sorry for you when you are the one who screwed her over.
I also feel just in general, a lot of these goodbye messages are not doing anybody any favors. Like, we don't know for sure that there is no jury battle back. And twice now, Tyler in his message has basically exposed his entire game. Twice. Somebody could be coming back. We still don't know 100% that it's not happening. So why is Tyler doing this? It's actually, every time he does it, I'm just like, I'm feeling more and more shocked, and I don't know why, because he just did it last week too.
I've tried to get inside Tyler's head for the past week with this. I've been really trying to figure this out because I think it's a calculated risk. I think you are right. There is a chance at a battle back. There's a chance this could massively screw him over. I think Tyler is just banking on this idea that if he is the first person who tells all of these people about the committee, the Blob Alliance, whatever you want to call it, it's always the blob of my heart. I think he is thinking that, okay, they will support me, they will respect me for this, I'm being a good person to them. Like, I think he feels like it's something, he's sort of actually taking a page from Josh in 19, who I think won the game because he gave pretty good goodbye messages.
Yeah, well, Josh actually, this is the only thing I'll say about Josh.
Yeah, no, here we go,
not,
compliment for Josh coming.
Josh did a very good job with his goodbye messages, and there is still gameplay in those messages. But I don't know how much people are going to be like, well, thank you, Tyler, for telling me all about your alliance. This makes me feel so much better that I'm walking out the door. I just don't know if it's that good, if it's really going to help him at all.
I don't know. The only thing I'm reasonably confident is I think Tyler did a better job of sort of owning it than Nicole did. And I think that's something where if you're Davon, you probably, and I don't want to speak for Davon, but you probably at least feel better about Tyler's goodbye message. Maybe you feel differently about their games. But the other thing, before we get to this neighbor that I really, and also that triple eviction, just, oh boy, don't get me started about that. But okay, the edit tonight. Totally decided that they did not even want to mention that Davon learned about things through a wall yeller. Julie really tried deliberately to frame it so that Davon was finding this out about Nicole in the moment. Like, she specifically even brought out the goodbye messages before Davon could confirm anything at all.
So, yeah, the wall yeller, they've taken that from us. We're never going to actually know what happened. And that is such a bummer. It really is, because that was such a huge thing that happened in the house. And I was hoping that even with some tricky editing, that at least we would get a little bit of what that fallout was. It's lost in the ether forever. So while everyone enjoys the wall yellers out there, those of us, you know, now everyone gets nothing, so including the wall yellers. And so for me, I'm still anti-wall yeller, and now extra anti-wall yeller, because man, what an interesting moment that would have been.
The only thing I'm trying to hope that they include in Sunday's show, and I don't know if they're going to do this, but I at least, if you're not going to give me any other fallout, which will make me really mad, by the way, because I need to know what sort of conflicts came out of Davon hearing from a wall yeller that Nicole was the person who flipped, and we may never know that, but I at least want to see a conversation between David and Davon where Davon apologized to him, and ultimately maybe we won't because Davon is gone and it's not as relevant now as it could have been, but I'm bummed out about that. I'm bummed out massively about that. They want to, like, cover their eyes and ears and pretend that it never even happened.
Yeah, like those 24 hours or whatever, almost 24 hours, they are gone. And there was so much stuff that happened in that time.
Don't even get me started on the fact that when the feats came back, they were all playing charades. Like, that was the salt in the wound. That was them opening.
Know.
You know, like those big things of salt you get at Costco? They were just like, ah, on all of us fans.
Yep.
Okay, now let's get to the exciting part. Dr. Will Kirby come right back into my heart, or as David knows you, who? He is in the... I know, that is the easy joke. I love you, David. I know I'm piling on. Everybody on Twitter's probably already made the joke.
Yes. No, it was great to see him back. And I mean, he hasn't been on Twitter a little while. And there's so many of us out there that were like, oh, it'll probably be Will. And that makes sense. I mean, he's local. He lives out here. So the house is out here. It's something that he could take a little bit of time away from his practice to be able to, come down and do this. It's not that far. So it makes sense. And of course, he's also right. It's a legend season. You have to have the legend on the show.
This is perfect for so many reasons, starting with the fact that I'm about at least 80% sure that Dr. Will has barely seen this season, and I think Dr. Will really cares less about any of them. Like, he doesn't matter to him who won. He's rolling around in trillions of, laser away money, so he doesn't care about these people.
I love that he came out in a robe.
That Dr. Will is the only person on Big Brother who is allowed to wear a robe. None of you HOHs should wear the robe. It is cursed. Will, you can do whatever you want, and I will pretty much allow it.
And I really, really love that there is going to be the sort of twist that I was hoping for, which was kind of like, what's behind this door? Oh, it's money. Or you can have this power. I love stuff like this where it's kind of like a temptation. Take what's over here. Or, yeah, you can try for the HOH, but what about this money or diamonds? Furs, whatever you want.
The thing about this, it's so perfect that this is Will, because Will is the patron saint of this not caring about competitions and taking all the prizes.
It's true.
Like, this is the perfect person. He's so charismatic. He's so funny. I want to see... He's going to troll these people better than the ZINGBOT ever could.
And what is so good about this twist is that the committee is so strong and there are so many of them in it, they will take those prizes because they will probably be sitting back being like, oh, Tyler can take that, or Memphis can take that, or Enzo can take that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we all each took like $5,000, $10,000. I have a whole bunch of watches and David's the HOH.
David, you can win by default. You can pull a Christmas and win an HOH with doing nothing.
I don't even care. I'll take it.
It's okay. I wonder this. Like, it sounds like he's going to be involved in the HOH and the veto. Like, is Will legit staying on the CBS lot? And they're just got a cot for him at somewhere? Or is
a cot? Yeah, no, I don't think so. He's probably going home.
Yeah, that face, you cannot mess with that face that Dr. Will has by putting him through tough conditions.
Yeah, I think it's drivable to get to the job.
Yeah, I do not think we should all abandon the pretense. Dr. Will ain't showing up there at 3 a.m. to do something with these house guests.
Probably not.
I'm thrilled about Dr. Will. I could continue to talk about Dr. Will all night. I'm so happy it's not Jeff or some of these other people that I'd heard. I love Mr. Pictacular. We will be on Pictacular Island with that.
I know not everyone loves Jesse, but I think he's really funny, and I think he's very sort of self-aware of how ridiculous he is, which is why I like him.
But if they had hyped up a BB legend and it was Jesse, I feel like BB Twitter would have burned to the ground.
No, and I get that.
Okay, the triple eviction thing. Okay, there were rumors that next week was going to be a double. I would have been okay with that. I hate it when they do triple evictions on Big Brother Canada, and we should know, we don't know if this is going to be the same as triple evictions there. For those of you who don't watch Big Brother Canada, that's where 2 people basically get eliminated on the single HOH cycle. So you see like an HOH cycle for a double eviction here, it's just 1 person. There it's 2. I don't know if they're doing that or because it's a 2-hour show, they're going to have 1 eviction cycle and then another eviction cycle after the first person gets evicted. We don't know the details here.
No, we just know that we're going to be losing more than 1 person.
And I don't like it. I am also on an island of, I don't really even like double evictions that much. And the reason why is that, to me, Like things like Dan's funeral, like Big Brother moves, the iconic ones are often done over days and spending a lot of time and cultivating relationships, and double evictions, they have that shock value. But you can't really do things like that at a double eviction.
I agree.
I know I'm on an island.
No, I do agree. It's true that it takes longer to craft some of these really amazing moves that we're still talking about Dan's funeral years and years and years later, right?
Yeah.
So, but I like them when it's a situation like this, where there is a giant alliance that is steamrolling everyone, and this is the time where they can either decide to turn on each other because it's so quick, so they can actually just get in there, get someone out, and move on, or it gives the underdogs a chance to do something else as well.
That is also true, and I hope that we have some sort of like just huge rivalry spawn out within the Blob Alliance tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's also this season in particular, everyone is so scared to do everything that something like a double eviction is where they might do something in that alliance against each other because they don't want to sit around with their whole alliance all week long.
Okay, so the other question I know a lot of people are inevitably going to have is there going to be a battle back because of this? How are the days working? Mm-hmm. We tried to do a little bit of math here, and it's always possible that I'm wrong with all of this, but we know it's an 85-day season, presumably.
Yeah.
So if you're losing 3 people next week, that is day 58. There would be 6 people at the end of the triple eviction. Then the following week, 65, you'd be down to 5 people. You'd be down to 4 people on day 72, 3 people on day 79, and then on day 85, you would get down to the final 2. So technically, they don't have to do a battle back, but a lot of times they tend to sort of speed through final 4 or something else in that vein. I would prefer they do a battle back than having just like a full week in a house with just 4 people, because that's not particularly fun feats.
Yeah, and then this would also then mean that there's probably not going to be another double eviction. This will just be it.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about Big Brother completely using up like all of their momentum for like, for people who do love the double eviction drama on just like one night.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would rather it kind of be spread out.
Yeah, so we'll see if there's anything else that they could have in the works here a little bit later on. But yeah, I'm not thrilled about losing so many people that soon. And then, because I think this past season, we had like a good solid week or so where you had like Jackson and Holly, and it was just like, and I'm not trying to insult like, Nicole and, Cliff at times, they could be entertaining. It's just, it's a long time with just 4 people in the game.
Yeah, no, it is. I remember even in season 1 with the final 3, it felt like it was going on a long time. And I loved that season, but it was just kind of like, the 3 of them, and they're all friends, and they're all just hanging out. And I was just like, oh, cool. Everybody's sitting in the backyard having a coffee. Cool. All right.
There's only so many times we can see charades, people. We need drama, Dr. Will. If David's not the prince who was promised, you must be. How much money would you give CBS if Dr. Will in the middle of all this just says, screws this, jumps off the balcony, he's like, I'm playing this game now?
I would give them no money, but I'd be very happy.
Well, yeah, okay, if you're gonna do this, Dr. Will, like, get tested or something first, make sure you're safe, but then jump down there, and you can be the savior of this season, but okay,
That's right, jump down there and kick Memphis out.
There you go. What did you guys think about this episode? Dr. Will is the neighbor, all the other stuff. Let us know in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further. Check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.